Welcome. This video is being sponsored by rjnworld.com. RJN Industries, we make foam and snow entertainment products. We've been doing it for over 20 years. We sell to the biggest theme parks, to the smallest theme parks, to DJs, to mom and pop operations. We know a little bit about foam and snow and bubbles and the manufacturing of it, okay? This particular video is going to discuss safety of homemade stuff that's being put out there on the web. There's a lot of interesting formulas being submitted by people about the best foam that you can make at home or the best snow solution you can make at home, but you got to think seriously, people. Safety first. You might be saving a nickel, but you're going to pay it back 1,000 times in a lawsuit. There's nothing worse than somebody knocking on your door and a process server handing you a subpoena for a civil suit because you burned somebody's kid. You know, it might be your own, you can make some more, but you don't want to burn other people's, okay? Think about that. There are chemical types out there. There's chemical families, okay? You start at the best top of the line, you're talking pharmaceutical grade. You go below that, you're talking cosmetic and food grade. You go below that, you're talking technical grade. The cheap stuff is at the bottom in technical grade. But the problem with the cheap stuff in technical grade, it's cheap because it has a lot of artifacts in it, a lot of contaminants in it. And it can be so well contaminated that the manufacturer even has to put formaldehyde in it to keep the surfactant from being eaten by molds, mildews, and bacteria during transit before you use it. And believe it or not, you can pop a cap off a 5-gallon pail and instantly know by the smell that it's rancid. Good quality pharmaceutical, food grade, cosmetic grade surfactants are made with proper sanitation and hygiene, clean equipment, clean tools, clean storage containers, and therefore the amount of preservative that needs to be put in them is next to nothing, if any at all. And a lot of times it'll be a cosmetic grade or a food grade preservative. There are ones out there, and you use hardly any of them, and they're preserved in the smallest amount just for that container. Once you start diluting it out, that's another story. Some of the bad formulas that are out there, there's one guy saponifying coconut oil with a hydroxide. This is saponification. That's where the word soap comes from. Back in the 1840s, you crossed the United States in a covered wagon. You needed some soap on the way, you killed the pig, you rendered the fat, you cooked it with hydroxides, and presto, you had lye soap, people. Lye soap. And if the hydroxide was off, you had something that would take the hair right off of you. Soaps are the least amount used in a foam solution because of that reason. Soaps are very irritating unless you have the most perfectly balanced cosmetic grade soap. Okay, but those very expensive. You wouldn't want to go after them. Another formula out there is a guy who quotes, "I have the best snow solution." He takes a shampoo product. He says the formula is 1/3 shampoo, 1/3 water, 1/3 isopropyl alcohol. Now that isopropyl alcohol, think about it, 1/3. First of all, that's a lot of money. Second of all, isopropyl alcohol, if it gets in your eyes and your nose and your ears, in your mouth, doesn't it burn? Second of all, the physics of a bubble. Bubbles have to remain true or they burst. If they are contaminated with anything, they burst. Isopropyl alcohol is oil soluble and water soluble. It will contaminate the formula, so you have to use more surfactant. Okay? Here is a glass bottle. It's got snow solution in it. Now it's made foam. I see the foam, shake it up. Now watch this. It's just pure water and snow solution. Alcohol. Walmart, isopropyl. What happens when you hit it? Alcohol gets rid of it. It's a defoamer. A lot of people in the industry, if they have to clean up fast, they have a squirt bottle of isopropyl and they go around so they can wet vac up the mess and get the job done and go home. Think about that. Why did the guy, oh, it worked, but he didn't think about the consequences. pH, get yourself some pH paper. Find out what the correct pH should be. Test your product. If you really think you got God's gift and you found something fantastic, get yourself some Band-Aids, 2 Band-Aids. You're going to do this at your own risk. We're not liable for this. Put your brains on. If this is beyond you, skip to another video, okay? But what you're going to do with those 2 Band-Aids is you're going to test the product on yourself. If you wouldn't test it on yourself, why would you do it on your neighbor's kids? Well, there might be a reason for that, but other than ugly, stupid kids next door, the public does not want their kids burned. You take concentrated formula that you just made and you dilute it out to the correct dilution that you think it should be when you do it. You wet down the 2 Band-Aids. You apply them to your skin in a sensitive area so it reacts faster. Because in the real world, foam goes everywhere, believe it or not. And if you start jumping around in a couple of minutes, then presto changeo, you know something's wrong. If you peel them off at the end of the day and you see red squares underneath where your juice, your homemade solutions has been all day, then you know something's irritated the skin, and it's another no-no. And then you have to put your thinking cap on and say, am I really going to do this? And then you have to look at so many people order chemicals. By the time you order these homemade chemicals and you put them together and put a thing, it could be cheaper, and a lot of times it's cheaper by a professional product. Foam solutions dilute out 150 to 1 on an average. That means you buy 1 gallon of foam solution, it makes 150 gallons of ready to use. That's 3 55-gallon drums to blow foam. Snow is as cheap as $10 a gallon with free shipping. You're going to burn somebody's eye out with isopropyl alcohol when $10 would have done the whole thing with free shipping? Think about that. If you're going to be a wizard, study.